A lot of land in Ibeju Lekki, precisely around Akodo, Magbon, Bolongpelu, Elerangbe, Ilamija, Otolu, Eleko are all selling with excision title, approved excision, village excision, and so on. And there are a lot of estates located in these different communities and these different towns in Ibeju Lekki that are also selling, or even some are even sold out with approved excision title. But based on my recent experience with a land around Eleko, I feel it's best I also share my advice about lands in Ibeju Lekki with excision title, so that investors who are interested or who are about to invest or have invested in any of these estates or any of these properties in Ibeju Lekki can also know what to do next with their investments. In case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this is Meet the Property Guy Property channel, and this is where we discuss everything real estate. Either you want to buy, invest, or sell a property here in Nigeria. We share tips, guides, and advice on what to look out for, the different steps you can take, the different risks for you to avoid, for you to actually make a profitable real estate investment. After watching this particular guide, our advice is also go to our previous episodes, previous videos. There are a lot of topics that we have shared already about a lot of property advices and property guides here in Nigeria. So let's go into the topic. My advice regarding lands for sale in Ibeju Lekki with excision title. Now, to start with, when it comes to properties generally here in Lagos or even Nigeria entirely, there is no jagaban. There is nobody that knows it all. There is no one that is beyond falling for some gimmicks or for some common real estate scams or shams, how you might put it. So when it comes to buying land in Ibeju Lekki, either it's Eleko you are interested in, or is Eleko you invested in, or is Ilamija, or is Elerangbe, and so on. Now, for a lot of these land that are selling or that are available in this location with excision title, excision that has not been gazetted. Now, there is a difference between a gazetted excision and an excision that is not gazetted, and also an excision in view or excision in process. All these things are different steps. Now, an excision that is gazetted is an excision where the government have already released the land, earmarked the number of acres or land size or land area which they have released to the community or to the village, and it has been recorded in the government official gazette. Usually the title of this land is a gazette, and there is always a gazette number, something like Gazette 2003 or 2008 volume number, something, page number, something. That's usually a gazetted excision. Now, for an excision that is not gazette or that has not been gazetted, usually the title is approved excision or village excision, as the case might be. And what the reference number they might give you is just a number with maybe LS/D/ whatever number that is going to come with. Is that just an excision number to show that the excision is approved but has not been gazetted yet? Now, my advice in this video is for excisions that have been approved but have not been gazetted yet. Now, firstly, what you should always remember about excision land is that even though the government might have give a community or a family an excision, meaning that they have released some lands to them, this excision does not always cover the entire community. There is always a land area which this excision covers, and in most cases, the land or the estate that people are selling with approved excision always fall outside the excised area. In most cases, some maybe 20 or 30% might fall within the excised area, but a large portion of the land, in most cases, not all cases, in most cases, always fall outside the excised area. Now, what's going to happen if you buy a property that fall outside the excised area? And that's the same thing with what happened like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where a lot of companies around Folu Ise and around the Lacampine Tropicana area in Ibeju Lekki sold a lot of land with excision in process or excision in view. If you are buying any land that is outside an excised area, you are going to pay the government for allocation. And what that means is that after you buy from the family or you buy from the estate company or community or wherever you are buying from, you are still going to go back to the government and buy that land from the government. That's just the most basic, explanation I can give on that, which means that you are going to buy that land in two places. It's not bad, it's not terrible, but if you are investing, you should already have that in the back of your mind. As long as that land falls outside that excised area, you are definitely still going to go back to the government for allocation. And allocation simply means you are buying that land back from the government. Now, secondly, if your land falls within the excised area, which means that it falls within the area which the government have released to the community or have released to the family, it doesn't end there. As long as that excision have not been gazetted, you are still not safe, particularly here in Lagos. So which means that every land that you are buying or that you are investing with excision title, you must go for a governor's consent. Is a must. Here in Lagos is a must. As long as that excision have not been gazetted, you must go for a governor's consent. So before you start investing, you must, or is better or is advisable you start adding this calculation to your capital, what you are going to invest. This land is excision or has been excised. You have verified that it has been excised. That's selling at 3 million or 3.5 million naira per plot. Fine. You should also set aside an extra budget which you are also going to spend for you to get a governor's consent on that property. Either it's 1 plot, it's 2 plot, it's 3 plot, it's 1 acre that you are buying. You must set aside another extra budget for you to apply for a governor's consent on it. It's a must. Either the land is at Akodo, is at Eleko, even it's only few part of Eleko that has excision. And unfortunately for me, I only had to learn that the hard way sometimes this past week when I had a property one of my contacts wanted to invest in, and by the time we got to the charting process, we realized that that land does not fall within the excised area. All the excision around that area were all in view. So you have to be careful about this thing. So if you are buying an excision property, either it's an estate, it's a community, first thing first is to first check if it falls within the actual excision or the actual excised area. And I can bet it 45 to 65% of the time is not going to fall within that excised area. Now, second step is if it falls within that excised area, what you have to do after purchase is you have to apply and get a governor's consent on that property. A must. As long as that excision have not been gazetted, is a must. Now, if you have bought already and then you checked and realize that that property is outside the excised area, it's not all doom. It's not all doom. You just have to apply for a government allocation with Lagos state government or whichever state that you bought the property, and then get an allocation on that property. But just know that that allocation means that you are buying that land also from the government. Which moves me to the third step. Personally, based on my recent experience with excision land and excised land at Ibeju Lekki, that is Akodo, is Eleko, is Ilamija, or whatever, I've personally decided not to be promoting any excision land in Ibeju Lekki. Personally, I've just decided not to be promoting any as long as that excision have not been gazetted, I'm not promoting it. So for anyone or for any of my contacts who is interested in the land in Ibeju Lekki, the land I'll personally be promoting will be one with a CFO, not even CFO in view. CFO, that the file number is out, they can verify. CFO, government allocation, or a gazette, that's an excision that has been gazetted. Now there are a lot of communities in Ibeju Lekki where the excision has been gazetted. Some part of Eleko, the excision has been gazetted, some parts. Some part of Akodo also, the excision has been gazetted, some parts around Museyo. Then some part of Elerangbe, the excision has also been gazetted, some parts also. So if the excision has been gazetted, it's still a bit more safer. But if it's just an approved excision only, just have it in the back of your mind. After you have bought the property, you've got your survey plan in your name, you've got the deed of assignment signed by the people that are selling, and everything is good, you now have to apply for a governor's consent on that property. A must. Is a must. You must apply for a governor's consent on it. And if you have bought already and you realize that the excision property you bought does not fall within the excision area, or the excision is still in view, the excision is still in process, don't disturb yourself. Just go to get a surveyor, go to Lagos State Ministry of Land and start a government allocation on that property. You are going to buy again from the government. And that's why I keep repeating it. Land of 1.5, 2 million, 2.5, 3 million in Ibeju Lekki, you are just disturbing yourself. You are still going to buy that land again from the government. There is nothing, you are still going to pay the government again. And once it comes to you want to pay the government can charge you any rates that they feel, because buying land from the government is always to the highest bidder. They sell to the highest bidder. So they don't owe you anything. They don't owe you any explanation that they approve your allocation or not. So that's why I've seen a lot of contacts, a lot of people inquiries coming that, okay, you want to buy 2 acres, you want to buy 3 acres in Ibeju Lekki, 1 million naira per plot, 1.5 million naira per plot. You are just disturbing yourself. You buy that land, collect the documents, you are still going to start from scratch, from level 1 again, and pay the government again for that same property. Or even you buy the property, the excision is approved through, you are still going to pay a lot too for the government to give you governor's consent on that property. So if you know it's 2 plots your budget can afford with CFO, buy the 2 plots with CFO. If you know it's 1 plot or even half plot your budget can afford with CFO, buy the half plot with CFO. It's better you have something secured that is small than you buy something that is a lot that is insecure that you can lose at any time. That is my advice. And like I said before, I personally try to learn as much as possible, and that's why a lot of the tips and the advices that we share on this channel, they are not hearsays, they are not things I read on the book. They are things that happen based on the different experiences, the different transactions that we deal in. And these experiences and these transactions also help me get better, help me advise my investors better, and also help me to know what to avoid in the future. And that's why I said, personally, I'm not going to promote any excision land, even if it's approved excision or village excision. I'm not going to promote it in Ibeju Lekki at all. If it's not gazetted, or a CFO that is already out, or list government allocation, is at owner's risk, or buyer's risk rather, is at buyer's risk. So, and that's my advice for a lot of people that also want to invest in Ibeju Lekki. If you have 10 million, you have 8 million, just better buy your 1 plot that have CFO, that the CFO is out already. If you have 20 million or 15 million that you want to, if it's 2 plots you can get with CFO, just get that 2 plots. It's better than you looking for 1 acre or 2 acres where a lot of the documentation are still going to give you issues in the nearest future. So if you have any inquiry or any other further feedback for us or further questions for us, you can drop the comments below. I'm definitely going to attend to your comments and also answer your question. And if you feel you need a one-on-one consultation, definitely you can do that. My WhatsApp is open. My WhatsApp number is always also on the screen. You can also reach us directly, ask your questions, ask your inquiries about a property you have invested in, maybe anywhere in Ibeju Lekki that you have invested in already, or that you are about to invest, and we can always share our own experience and our own guides for you. As I said, we are all learning. Me too. I'm also learning continuously. There are a lot of mistakes that I've made before, and these mistakes have also been part of my experience and part of the ways that I share this knowledge, so that at least other people are not going to fall for the same mistakes that I made. So as you know, more particle on the planet, your property advisor, your property consultant, Rabi Mustafa, thanks always for watching our videos. Thanks always for being part of our channel, and also for the people that have subscribed to our channel. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys. And for you that have been watching my videos, learning a lot, and you did not subscribe, kindly subscribe. At least you are learning a lot from the tips that I've been sharing. And don't forget to give us a thumb like, if you feel this is a very, very informative content. Thanks again, and see you next time.